Welcome to Blowing Solutions Wide Open, where we talk about all things spiritual as well as creating new systems in the area of finance, government, healthcare, education, and new environmental practices. My name is Addie Halkin. Thank you so much for joining me. If you think that you have ideas in any of the areas that I just mentioned, please feel free to email me at blowingsolutionswideopen@gmail.com, or you can leave the word guest in the comment section of this video. And if you think that you have ideas for better ways of living in areas that I didn't mention, also please feel free to reach out to me. I am open as long as the motive is creating a better way of living for us and shifting things on the planet so that we are living happier. I am up for it. I want to hear it. I think collaboration is key right now. And that is what this channel is about, is us coming together and really sharing what we have to give, sharing what we know, sharing our ideas. I know that it's working on at least one other platform right now. Um, and so let's keep doing that. Let's keep really talking. I think that we have kind of been far too cut off from each other in general for a long time. We've been, seeing the media and the scripted narratives of that, and we haven't been hearing each other. And now we need to start doing that because this transitional period's a little rough and we are ready to move. And so this is the way that we more quickly move, I think. Anyhow, today I want to talk about hydrogen peroxide. And before you fall asleep and click off, hear me out. I realize that this is not a terribly sexy subject, but there's a reason that I'm bringing it up. And I will admit I am not great with facts, figures, science. I tend to not, remember details very well. I tend to not always organize things very well. So I may read a little bit from my notes just so I don't screw it up too bad. But this is something that I have studied a little bit over the last year. I've read a few books on this subject, primarily on oxygen therapies, and hydrogen peroxide is very much part of the oxygen therapies. And this information has been very much repressed from us for a long time. Hydrogen peroxide has been around a long time, but I guarantee you, for most of us, there's a lot you don't know about it. So I want to put it out there because it definitely lines up with solutions for the planet. So let me start by reading what I have on my notes and then I'll get into it. Hydrogen peroxide is water with active singulate oxygen attached to it. So what that means is that it is water that has one active oxygen, I think atom, don't quote me, but I think it's an atom. And what that oxygen atom is it's a free radical, but it's a free radical that's good for us. And when it comes to free radicals, they always want to combine with another free radical. They want to pair up. And so when you've got one active singulate octave atom, it wants to pair up with another free radical. And so what it does is it'll often pair up with a free radical that's not so good for us, like a microbe, a bacteria, fungus, something like that. And so that's what happens when it pairs up with that other free radical is it burns it up. The active oxygen atom is more powerful than the microbe or the bacteria or the carbon dioxide free radical, and so it'll burn it up. So that's why hydrogen peroxide is so effective at killing bacteria and killing, I'm sure most of you guys have, probably have a bottle of it in your house right now, the brown bottle. I'm sure you've used it on your cuts and your wounds, and some people use it, for dental hygiene, things like that. But the reason it's so effective for killing bacteria is because of that science. It's the active oxygen atom or atom that's in the water mixture that goes after the bad stuff and burns it up. Anyway, I'll continue. Recognized as far back as 1863, hydrogen peroxide is recognized as a naturally occurring substance existing throughout our atmosphere. Due to pollution, it exists on a much lesser scale at this point. It exists in small amounts in the rain, water, oceans, plants, vegetables, and most of the food chain. Science says that hydrogen peroxide in the atmosphere combines with the sulfur dioxide pollution that we put into the air to form sulfuric acid. This is acid rain, and it is a way of the atmosphere cleansing itself. So that's kind of the same as what I was just saying. Basically, the hydrogen peroxide in the rain combines with that sulfur dioxide and it burns up the sulfur dioxide. And that's how it cleanses itself. That's why rain is really cleansing. All right, so this is to be paid attention to. Every cell in your body is trying to manufacture its own peroxide on a regular basis. Scientists that are trained in a drug point of view, which is often their point of view is often to poison the body that is sick in order to make it well. I don't get that. An example of this is chemo. So these scientists that believe this kind of stuff, which is many of our scientists, they'll tell you that hydrogen peroxide is a waste byproduct of cellular metabolism and that it's just a leftover. But nature untouched, left alone to do its thing, operates in perfection. So nature would not have every cell in your body producing something if it wasn't needed, wanted, or supposed to be there. Why would your body waste its time creating the energy, enzymes, and other processes to make a chemical that is a waste? That doesn't make sense. So that's a little bit of the kind of the science behind it. There's more to it. Um, I use hydrogen peroxide for everything these days. I use it as my primary cleaner. You definitely can use hydrogen peroxide to clean your house. It is bacteria wise far more effective than any cleanser out there. I think it's actually more effective than vinegar, and vinegar has been found to be pretty darn effective, but I think hydrogen peroxide does an even better job. Plus, you don't have to deal with the scent of vinegar. I use it in my carpet cleaner, and I think it does a better job than like the scented, carpet cleaner solutions. I just put straight up brown bottle hydrogen peroxide in there, and it really does do a better job. And that has everything to do with the science behind it. Um, some of the other things that you can use it for are plants. Plants love it. Animals, there's a way to use it with your animals. Um, if you're dealing with a surface that's not porous, like so you don't want to do this with wood or a surface that has any kind of not straight, but any kind of like what I'm saying, divots and things like that. But any kind of like just a flat surface, um, I have found that it's pretty darn effective for mold, actually. Um, and again, that's all science. It burnt the oxygen, the active oxygen in the hydrogen peroxide will burn up the mold. So this is a very powerful substance. I am only quoting something that I have read. But hydrogen peroxide goes up to 90%. We are not able to get a hold of 90%. Like the average person cannot go and buy 90% hydrogen peroxide. And I have read the reason for that is that it could fuel a rocket ship, basically. It's that powerful. And so, if you don't think hydrogen peroxide is effective, let me tell you, there's different strengths of it, and it's very, very potent. I know that I'm able to buy 35%, and I have to be real careful with it. Like I can't put it directly on my skin. Sometimes it'll spill a little on my skin, and I just have to wash my skin pretty quickly. But one of the things that I do is I'll use a cup or two in a bath of 35% hydrogen peroxide because it's really good for absorbing oxygen into your body. One of the things that I have read is that we need about 30 to 50% blood oxygen level with cells that are properly utilizing that oxygen in order to keep out disease. And our air is now at less than 21% oxygen. Our water's oxygen deplete right now, which makes our food source oxygen deplete. And so That's a big reason why we're getting sick, is that we don't have enough oxygen in our systems to burn up the microbes that come through. And the microbes are, and the bacteria and the funguses, they all like to live off of carbon dioxide. And there's nothing wrong with dioxide because it is part of the natural ecosystem, but it's not something that we as human beings do really well on. We always try to release it out of our body. So if we're getting a whole bunch of microbes in our system that are carbon dioxide consumers, we tend to have problems. We tend to get diseases. And so that's why using products that are oxygen rich, especially active oxygen rich, is so effective for us. It's so effective. It's good for the environment. Um, if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be created in our ecosystem. Our cells wouldn't be creating it. Each one of our cells creates a small amount of hydrogen peroxide. Um, and so I just bring this up because as small as it sounds, as boring as this subject is, it is actually very effective for cleaning up our environment. And when we start cleaning up our environment, we are sick less. Make no mistake about it. That our health is very reactive. Most of us, our health are very reactive to our environment to some extent. And so we're out of balance right now. And I think it's going to take really starting to clean up our atmosphere. I know that there are certain people working on technologies that can do that, and I'm super excited about that. But until that comes about all the way, you know, do what you can, care about this stuff. Use hydrogen peroxide for your cleaner. Forget about all that fragrance crap that you buy at the store. And by the way, hydrogen peroxide is very inexpensive. So it's not like this is going to put you out any. In fact, it may actually save you a little bit of money. One of the things that I do is I soak all my fruits and vegetables and meats in food grade hydrogen peroxide and water mixture. Um, Food grade is a little bit more expensive. I generally just find it online. Some people have told me they've seen it in the health food stores. I'm not sure about that, but um, that's more the kind of hydrogen peroxide you want to use if you are wanting to ingest something, like let's say soak your produce, your foods in it, or some people actually drink hydrogen peroxide water. I've tried it. It's disgusting. I I I don't know. I haven't been able to really tolerate it myself, but I know there's other countries that don't have a lot of money, and so they run small amounts of hydrogen peroxide through their water to keep their people a little bit healthier. I know that farmers are, some of those guys are onto this, and they put small amounts of hydrogen peroxide in their water for their animals, and those animals have been shown to have much healthier organs, get sick a lot less, things like that. I know plants like it. I would say the best mixture that I've found is about a quarter cup hydrogen peroxide to a gallon of water. Hydrogen peroxide does do better with distilled water because the bleach in tap water eventually will kill off the oxygen in the hydrogen peroxide, but it doesn't do that immediately. If you can't do distilled water, it's still better than, to do it than not to do it. Um, there's just all kinds of things that you can do. But the point is that we were given everything we ever needed on this planet to exist and thrive and be healthy. The eco cycle is supposed to be, evergreen. It's supposed to, not, not, kill out eventually. And so if our ecosystem is not working well, it's because we've gotten way out of balance. And so um, I think if every person started using hydrogen peroxide in the areas that I just spoke of, we would actually see quite a shift in our environment and in our health. You can certainly go and research this more yourself. Again, Google and Bing, probably you're going to get some garbage information. I read the book Flood Your Body with Oxygen by Ed McCabe. There are definitely other oxygen therapy books out there, There are ozone groups on Facebook that talk some about hydrogen peroxide and a lot about ozone, which is another form. Actually, it's very similar to hydrogen peroxide, but I wanted to bring this particular subject up because um, I tend to I tend to not break things down well. Sometimes I tend to get off on a whole bunch of different subjects at once. And so I wanted to specifically focus on hydrogen peroxide and the ways that you can use it and why you should actually care about it. And it has everything to do with your health. It has everything to do with your environment. They are definitely intertwined. And this is a really easy thing that you can do, a really easy change you can make to support the planet more, support the environment more, and also be better on your health because the science is there. If you feel like maybe you know, I'm not the best at explaining this, so if you feel like you want a little more information, go and do some digging and some research. Go and check out some of these oxygen books. Start with Flood Your Body with Oxygen by Ed McCabe. It's an old book, but it's got a heck of a lot of information in there. So anyway, I hope that this is helpful, and let's keep sharing with each other the solutions and the information that we have. I think that that is our key to moving forward on this planet. Okay, guys, take care. Have a good day.